I have been criticizing ROM hacks for years, and whenever I do, a part of me can't help but feel kinda bad for doing it. I'm always happy to tear into Nintendo or CD Projekt Red or pretty much any big developer because they have copious resources and experts at their disposal, whereas ROM hackers are mostly just one person or a small group of people making a game for fun and for free. ROM hacks are the proletariat games, they are games of the people, which is why I can't help but feel a little sad when I play them and I feel the need to criticize them, even if I think it's legit or at least grounded in some kind of observable reality. If any ROM hackers are watching this video, I just want you to know that I love you and I am extremely thankful for everything you make because I know you're doing it for fun and you're making new stuff for me to play and that's really sweet, and I will always appreciate it, and you will always have my full support in your endeavors because you earned it through your dedication and hard work and passion. Now with all that out of the way, I want to talk some shit on Mario World hacks. If you're a longtime viewer, you probably know me more for talking about 3D Mario. The third dimension is kinda my forte. For those of you who don't know, that's where I live. That being said, 2D Mario is something that I appreciate for its longevity and its historical and cultural significance in the lineage of the video game medium. But now that I think about it, I honestly don't play them very often anymore. And a lot of the time, I don't really care to. It's just not my thing. I did more when I was little, but that was mostly for the novelty of playing an old video game from a different era. Of course, the older I get, the more I can appreciate the little nuances and how these games work, but it's very rare that I have the urge to actually sit down and play them. But ROM hacks are a bit of a different story because they're fan creations and there's no telling what they might do. And today we're going to talk about 3 of those because I feel like it, / they were recommended to me. P.S. Please leave recommendations in the comments if you have any. Yoshi's Strange Quest is a ROM hack of Super Mario World from a few years ago. You play as Yoshi on your quest to find all the lost Yoshi eggs and also get diabetes from all the junk food that the Yoshis apparently love so much. There are plenty of aspects of this game that are very impressive. Visually, the game is very pretty and in many ways looks better than the original Super Mario World. A lot of that is because it borrows heavily from the sequel, Yoshi's Island. There's a lot of dumb, silly humor and one joke where a Yoshi takes a massive piss off screen and fills an entire underground cave with piss, and you have to swim through it. You won't see that in an official Nintendo game. The music is absolutely brilliant. You got your fair share of remixed tunes and musical references to plenty of other great games. There's a lot of big brain, smart ideas and somewhat new mechanics. It's Super Mario World, except you can do everything that a Yoshi can do, and there's no baby. That is such a brilliant concept, and it looks so well made at first that you almost can't even tell whether it's an official thing or a ROM hack. That is, until you start actually playing it. This is one of those hard hacks, and I don't mean general old school hard, I mean ROM hack hard. If any of you have played Super Mario Maker a lot, you've probably seen at least a couple levels called something like Die F*** but spelled really poorly so it doesn't get automatically flagged. Then you click on the level and it's just a bunch of fuckster death traps and whatnot. That's what ROM hacks are like sometimes, except they're not moderated by Nintendo, so they can be even worse. Just by briefly browsing the comments on the download page, I can see the difficulty on this hack got a lot of scrutiny, which was kinda relieving to me because I was afraid I was just shitty at Mario. I want to reiterate that it's not fair to hold ROM hackers to the standard of AAA dev studios, so I mean absolutely no disrespect at all, especially since there are still many aspects of this game that are excellent, but this game did fuck me up a lot, and I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't get angry. Again, I'm not the best 2D Mario player in the world, but at least with the base games, I can usually overcome whatever dick shit old school difficulty crap they throw at me. And I should also point out that Yoshi's Strange Quest has 2 difficulty settings, and I picked the hard mode cause I ain't no bitch. Or at least that's what I thought. I don't know that changing the difficulty alters anything beyond giving you less health and making you take more damage, but in any case, a huge part of the game is these numerous successive super precise jumps and borderline frame perfect maneuvers, and when I say successive, I mean if you fuck up one of them, you'll probably die and have to do all of that shit again. There are so many narrow jumps you have to make using Yoshi's flutter kick, which alone is kinda janky and not always consistent even in the official games. There's death blocks everywhere and little enemies that come out of nowhere. The game kind of turns into a case of trial and error where you just have to know exactly what's going to come from where and how to react to it. The challenge is essentially just going extremely slowly so you can see things before you run into them or they run into you. The first level is a death pit full of sliding platforms and tiny enemies that fly in from right field the second you jump a little gap. When it's at its worst, it kinda turns into Dragon's Lair on NES. Let me reiterate that this is by no means unique to this ROM hack. In fact, when you've played as many ROM hacks as I have, you almost expect that to happen. So I can't get way too mad at this, and on the other hand, when this game wasn't doing that stuff, I was honestly having a lot of fun with it. It has more than its share of fun moments and clever ideas, like this thing with the black blocks where they move with the camera and you have to move the camera left and right to slide them across the level. There's the barrel blast levels like Donkey Kong Country. There's this scrolling level which almost made me punch my monitor. You got these puzzle levels where you have to bring a key all the way back to the beginning, which made me very angry. I especially love the cheeseburger dimension because I subsist entirely on a diet of cheeseburgers and energy drinks because all other foods disgust me. And my doctor has been warning me that I'm a fried egg away from having a severe heart attack. Is he joking? Is he serious? Don't even ask. When the hack is at its best, it really shines, so if you do have patience and time, and you're pretty good at Super Mario World, maybe give this one a chance. Up next is Call of Cthulhu. This one is very different. It's one of them experiential hacks. It's based loosely on Lovecraftian horror elements such as Cthulhu, of course, and it is incredibly atmospheric. From a purely audio-visual perspective, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. It is genuinely unsettling and creepy as any Lovecraftian-inspired thing would be. Well, so I imagine. The truth is, I don't know super much about Lovecraftian horror beyond the existence of Cthulhu, nor do I know a lot about H.P. Lovecraft himself. I do know he had a cat, although, I don't believe I should mention the name, but, he was a nice kitty. The game itself is a little less extreme than Yoshi's Strange Quest, but it still has a lot of frustrating moments like tight spaces with death blocks and whatnot. In fact, the game straight up encourages the use of save states, which not even Yoshi's did, even though it probably should have. The big problem with this game, difficulty-wise, is that if you die, you have to go back to the first chapter of the hack. It's not exactly level-based, it's a story told in 6 chapters, and each level is a chapter of the story. Gameplay-wise, there are a couple of weird things this game does, like these platforms which move as you run, or the block puzzles. There's this kind of Super Paper Mario thing where you switch between the background and the foreground by hitting this box, and these weird alternate dimension puzzles. The ending that the game gave me seemed to suggest that there may be 2 endings at least, and that there is a special condition for seeing the real ending, which is very above and beyond. This game is honestly really good when it's not being a little bitch. It's moody, it's atmospheric, it's unique, and I like all 3 of those things. And then finally, we have the Second Reality Project Reloaded. This is a fully blown Super Mario World hack with new levels and a new world and everything. And of the few Super Mario World hacks I can remember playing throughout my life, this is probably high up on my list of favorite ones. Earlier I made the distinction between ROM hack difficulty and old school difficulty. Whereas the other games I talked about were definitely ROM hack difficult, this game is much closer to old school difficult. It's still challenging for sure, but it's entirely reasonable. There's no tight corners or super precise frame perfect jumps. No puzzles where you have to have the foresight to hit 2 very specific coin blocks before playing the rest of the world, or you'll have done all those frame perfect jumps for nothing. Just straight up Mario. It feels like it could be official, like it could be an actual expansion pack for Super Mario World, and at least with respect to my own personal tastes, those tend to be the best ones. Fundamentally, the gameplay is virtually the same as the original, but the new levels add an extra layer of difficulty and challenge to it. It's not bullshit difficulty, mostly, but it is challenging enough. It's got more than its share of tense moments that you'll feel great for overcoming. The art direction is largely similar to the vanilla game, but slightly different to the point that you could probably tell the difference if you knew what you were looking for. It's got its share of great music consisting of remixed tunes from the original and songs adapted from other games. I feel like I said this for the other hacks. This is, you know what, this is the problem I have. I keep repeating myself, and repeating myself is something I keep doing, but all you gotta know is that this game is real good. It feels true to Super Mario World while also having the element of surprise, and I can easily recommend this one. Hey cousin, it's Roman. I want to apologize for this video being shorter than usual and for not having some more interesting things to say. As I said, 2D Mario isn't my strongest suit, but I cannot complain. I'm not, this going nowhere. I want to thank you all for your continued support. It means a lot to me, and it makes me feel like I have a purpose when I lie awake at night staring at the ceiling wondering why I even exist. And that means a lot to me. I should also mention that I got a Twitch channel now, which I don't use way too often, but maybe one day when you're bored, you'll be lucky to catch one of my streams. Also, I'm on Twitter 90% of the day, so if that's something you care about, then give me a follow, but otherwise, thank you very much for watching. And be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, or dislike it if you're a bitch. I liked it. I don't know. I'm having way too much fun with this voice.